Hi, I'm mooning. Idan.
And I love standing on the rim and just gazing. Callie. And welcome to
And welcome to our review of Shackleton Base. We just completed a full playthrough and tutorial throughout of Shackleton Base. If you're interested at all, the link is down in the description.
It was a long playthrough, guys. I'm sorry, but we're here and we're here to review a great game.
Yeah. So this is our third or fourth time playing Shackleton Base.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played it with 2 and 3 players. We haven't played it with 4 players. And we have played some of the corporations a few times, but not. But we haven't played all of the corporations. We are looking to record more videos with the other factions as well. So if that's something that interests you, if you want to see us play a certain corporation, let us know.
Yeah, comment below. We're happy to do that.
Yep. In this game, we played with the Artemis Tours, the Space Robotics,
and the
Skywatch for the first time in this recording. That one specifically.
Was interesting.
Yeah, but maybe we'll talk about the corporations later. In terms of maybe we'll start with components art.
Yeah, components are adorable. I have opinions about the art and I will keep them to myself because it is perfectly serviceable and does a good job. But the components are very cute. I love the small robots. I love how they're slotted in. And I don't know, everything has this unique vibe, but perfectly readable, eligible, and understandable.
Yeah.
Iconography is great once you play it more than once.
Yeah.
Like there's colors that are only used for specific actions to remind you that this is a passive that you get for that action, stuff like that. Like top tier.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll maybe elaborate on the graphics first, because to be honest, when I saw this game in video of other people, it definitely threw me back a little bit. The main thing is the whiteness of the board. I know this is the moon, and this is a crater on the moon, so it has to be white, but it is kind of stark. More so on video, I have to say. When you when you see it in person, it's not that bad, but I do understand that this is a lot of white all around. And the icons themselves, everything in terms of graphical design is a bit old. It's a bit early 2000s. It doesn't look like a game that came out in 2024, which is a bit of a shame. It's not the worst, but it's just taking it a little bit back. I do like the card graphics. I mean, the projects are lovely. Every one of them is unique and it looks great. But everything else is a little bit too stark, I would say, too bland. But in terms of legibility of icons, I agree. I love the fact that everything's written on the board. Almost everything is written on the board. Even to the fact that the little meeples have little icons on them. So that's great. And so I think overall, it's not the best, but don't let that get to you too much.
Oh, no,
that's not a reason to deduct any major points, I would say, right?
No, and very, very serviceable. Like, after you play around, you don't have any more questions about anything because it's all there.
Yeah, I agree. What do we think of the game mechanisms?
So I like that there are majorly free actions and you don't have a lot of restrictions on what to do. I like that there's a resource dump.
This one, you mean?
Yeah,
the default action?
Gateway. It's not really a default action, but it is the only action here that has no cost whatsoever, except for the corporate action. But even that one, you can't always get up to 3, so you do have something to do. In this game, I didn't get a chance to use it because I always had enough money, but I often do, and it's very useful. So in terms of the way it's built, it's fairly simple. I love that the colors in some places are extremely restrictive and in some places are just a bonus. So You can you do need to plan ahead, but not getting the people that you want will not ruin your strategy. So a lot of cool things here. Love the fact that there are multiple corporations that do very, very, very different things. I couldn't find any synergy between them, which is not a bad thing. It's just the way the game works. I think it's great. That's it. I've talked
Yeah.
enough.
I think, well, so I usually don't like area majority games, and
It's super minor here, Val.
there is an element of area majority, but it is kind of minor. And again, we haven't played in 4 players, but I don't think it would necessarily sneak up on you, because you are the person who's committing that worker, and you might as well not and find another row to commit to your worker to, because you do want these people back. That's a very important aspect of the game. So I do like, in many ways, in at least 2, it reminds me of On Mars, which is a completely different beast, to be honest. But there as well.
The moon.
That's true. And it's much more heavy. But in terms of the fact that we are building next to each other, like very in close proximity to one another, and there's this race to hit certain spots or to annoy certain player by placing next to them. And that also exists on Mars, as well as the global health of the system. On Mars, it's the life support system, and here it's the energy of the base, and that could also kind of trick you, but I think it's sort of relatively okay, because there's always a way for you to move it up, and it does gain you benefit in terms of reputation. So that's good. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that there is interactivity between players,
Yes.
in the sense that you're going to build certain stuff and take up spots first.
But there's no aggression.
There's no aggression. The only thing that always kind of annoys me is that the cost is really high, and if 2 players decides to, and it's a part of the game, I know, but if 2 players decide to take too many tokens of a certain corporation, the cost, not necessarily in coins, but especially in energy, which fluctuates a lot, is maybe a tad too unpredictable, in the sense that, okay, it's my turn again, and pretty much everybody cannot take cards unless we all invest in energy, and for that to happen, we want it to be that way. Now, you could say that, okay, if I don't know, if you want to build and it's too low, or if you want to take cards and it's too low, whatever, then people have the incentive of boosting it regardless. But it is maybe a little too harsh to my. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the game, when I'm finishing it with 4 cards, which we usually sort of finish a game with 4 to 5 cards, it feels like maybe I should have more cards, but it's not that easy to gain cards. It's more difficult than building buildings, for example, but that's okay. It's just an expectation kind of thing. But I do like that. I do like the fact that every round is only 6 people, and some people commented when we played it with them that the game might be too quick because it's only 18 actions in the entire game. But no,
it is perfect.
It doesn't feel too short. Yeah. It doesn't feel too long. It doesn't feel too short.
A tiny engine building in terms of cards. You do feel like you have specializations, and you do feel like you become more useful at doing things towards the second and third round. So that's great. And I actually do like the cost, because in a lot of games where you have these modules, a player who knows the game will just look and be like, most points, doubling down on this. And here, if more than one player chooses to major in one corporation, then the price goes up. Suddenly it's less worthwhile. So I think it's a cute balancing mechanism. I'm not going to argue on the exact numbers. If it feels harsh to you, I get it. But I do think it's mandatory in the way the game is built.
I'm not sure. We usually find ourselves investing in all three corporations. It's really hard. No?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you want
At
to
least a
have like
bit.
minimal so you can place your token there, but
I don't know. Not just for that, because again, if a specific corporation is cheap, then you are incentivized to take the cards. And if you're incentivized to take the cards, you might as well do something with it. So I feel like the game finally, elegantly pushes you to interact with all three, but maybe we haven't played it enough. I don't know. So that's in terms of mechanisms. I think there's nothing particularly groundbreaking in this game, but the melding of the various mechanisms, which we have seen before, works really well, to be honest. It's not Lacerda level, so you don't have to, restrict it to the most heavy gamers in your group.
oh no, it's very
There's no
easy and
hidden
it's very
information.
approachable.
Yeah. Randomization is very minimal. There's no hidden information. You could assist newer players to it. Everything's laid out on the board. You can play with corporations that are easier. We haven't talked about the corporations as I know, but we could play. There are 3 level 1 corporations. So if you want a really basic game, you can definitely have only the basic corporations. So it's very approachable. So it's a good medium to heavy game, I feel like, in terms of weight.
Yeah, to add up to what Idanush said, the game does feel restrictive, but not overly restrictive. There's always a useful action you can do. There's chaining in getting the cards and getting the bonus, but it's really minor. You're not going to be spending 10 minutes just looking for the ultimate combo because that doesn't exist. So there's a lot of really fun things that make you feel like you solved a clever puzzle, but not enough to get you stuck, not enough to trigger AP for anyone. So bonus points to the game for that.
And maybe lastly, replayability and touching on the various corporations. What do you think of replayability?
Well, having the different corporations and the fact that they do very, very different things and have different ways of interacting with them, I think replayability should be pretty high. What I don't know how, but I would have liked if the game scaled down efficiently. I feel like it's a lot less player interaction
with
in 2 players. You're basically just looking and being like, okay, I want to get in here so I can get in his way, and that's it. Like, that's as far as it goes. Whereas when you play in 3, and I'm guessing in 4, which we didn't get the chance to do yet, player interaction is a lot higher. There's a lot of money moving around, and sometimes someone building somewhere that you wanted isn't the worst thing, but them putting the token could be detrimental to you. So there is a lot more to the game and a higher player count, and I just wish that the map somehow scaled down.
I do want to mention in terms of replayability, not only are there 8 corporations, and you can do the math of how many combinations. Doesn't really matter. It's 36 or something combinations. It doesn't really matter.
Things, which is the important part.
Yeah, I feel like the difference between the corporations isn't all that big. It's always, pay something. It's always paying for.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
This
These
corporation
guys,
will give you extra resources and usually give you money. The robots can give you money and reputation and points, and they're accessible to everyone, whereas this is card dependent. And this one gives you nothing but reputation and points.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
They do change the game feel.
You're right. Yeah, I'll take that back. They're different. So I like the fact that basically what a different game would do, right? It would give you, okay, here are random gold cards for the game. Here are random whatever missions or recipes to fulfill, and the fact that the game says no, you're gonna pick a combination of goals plus mechanisms for this specific game is working for its benefit, because then the puzzle is less random and it's more thematic, and it works better. So I think that's great. I also want to mention that the game comes with, base game again, comes with 4 of these
Special
leaders,
ability.
right? And they do have 2 sides to them, and we didn't mention it, but the ability gets better if you build your HQ. So you have 8 of these basically, So that's also good in terms of replayability.
Yeah, I don't think they're a big factor in your
Right.
strategy. They don't make a big difference, but when you add them to the rest of the stuff that's modular,
Yeah.
then suddenly the game feels different.
Yeah. And I agree with you about what you said regarding player count. I don't think we would play this as a 2-player.
Yeah.
It's too big of a map for it to be enjoyable. I don't know if the map could have been reduced. I don't know. It's tough. But not the best game for 2 players. It doesn't show its value in 2 players.
Watch our full playthrough. The video is linked below.
Yeah.
And if it's a bit too boring, we're sorry, but it does get a lot more exciting in 3 and 4. Once we have extra microphones and friends,
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Yeah. All right. So overall, I think a very strong recommendation for me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a keeper. It has a lot of benefits. It's very easy to put on the table and get with new players who are used to stuff that's, I don't know, Concordia.
Yeah.
If a person has played Concordia, they
SETI.
can play Shackleton base. I think SETI's heavier than this, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. So strong recommendation for me as well.
Yeah.
All right. So we hope you what?
Like, comment, subscribe, add your favorite space emoji in the comments.
Please do.
What else?
Let us know if you want us to film specific corporation combination and watch the full playthrough and other videos on our channel. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see
Thank you for being here.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye.